What's up guys, Bryan here with Headwaters Adventure Company. I'm here with Wiechman again, and today we're going to be doing a few more modifications to his kayak. Tell us what we're doing today, Ben.
Alright, thanks Bryan. Tonight we're going to do the installation of the Fishfinder. So I'll just do a quick run through on the parts that we're going to be using for that and the actual unit itself, and then kind of go over a little bit of the placement of where I prefer Fishfinder to be. Okay guys, now that we got all of our parts ready, we're going to start on our installation.
So first step guys, is we're going to go ahead and take the transducer cover plate off the bottom of the kayak. Now that we have the plate removed, go ahead and grab your transducer from your Fishfinder kit, the transducer mounting bracket, and the package of through-hole fittings and transducer mounting screw from the owner's manual you got with your kayak. Okay guys, so now that we have the transducer mounted to the cover plate, we're going to go ahead and mount this plate back onto the kayak. Okay, so our next step is to remove the through-hole fitting from beneath the seat so we can run our transducer wire up to where we're going to mount the head unit of the Fishfinder. So we may have to remove some of the foam pieces from inside the kayak to access the backside of this through-hole fitting. So go ahead and do that. And then reach on the inside and there will be a plastic nut on the backside of the fitting. Just like that. So next step, we're going to take the gasket off the bottom of the through-hole fitting and run that through the end of our transducer wire. And then we'll take our transducer wire and run that through the hole of the kayak that the through-hole fitting came out of. Okay guys, so next step, you're gonna find the tree of fittings that came in your transducer bag when you bought your kayak. Find the grommet that fits your transducer wire. Go ahead and put that guy on there. Then we will take the blank grommet out of the through-hole fitting. What we're going to do is we're going to fit this through-hole fitting over the top of that grommet. Once you have that all lined up, next step is make sure you have that gasket on the bottom of your through-hole fitting, and then you're going to push that through-hole fitting back into the hole where it came out of. Once you're done with that, we will take the nut that came off the back side of the through-hole fitting and run our end of the transducer wire through that. Once you have that guy run, what you're going to do is apply a little bit of pressure on that through-hole fitting, reach back into your kayak, and tighten that nut back onto the bottom of the through-hole fitting. Okay guys, so go ahead and grab your Fishfinder Install Kit. This kit is going to come with your battery, battery mount, battery charger, and all the wiring you're going to need to install your Fishfinder. So go ahead and grab the battery mount that you got on your install kit. We're going to grab the wiring harness also. On the back side of the battery mount, there's two notches cut out to actually hold the plug that comes from your Fishfinder. So make sure you run those guys through those notches. So go ahead and take your gear track, decide which side you want to mount your Fishfinder on. What we're going to do is make sure that gear track looks nice and straight inside your gear tray of your Outback. Take your drill and drill one hole in the end of the gear track. Make sure you don't go too deep through the gear tray because there are rudder control lines on the back side of this gear tray. Once you do that, go ahead and grab one screw from your bag, and we will take that one screw to keep it in place while we drill the other two holes. So now that we have our holes drilled and our screws in the gear track, what we're gonna do is take our backing plate and reach up underneath the bottom side of your gear track and just screw one into the backing plate right now so you can hold it in place. So now that we have one screw into our backing plate, what that does is keeps that backing plate in place while we screw our other two into the backing plate. So now that we have our gear track mounted, next step is to remove the through-hole fitting just in front of our gear track. So unlike the one underneath the seat, this one just has 3 screws that we need to remove from the top side. Okay, now that we have that removed, what we're gonna do is take our transducer wire and run that guy through the bottom of the hole from our through-hole fitting. Then next, we will take our power wire and run that through the top side. Now that we have our wires run, what we're gonna do is find the grommets for our through-hole fitting that fit your transducer wire and your power wire this time. Now, depending on your fish finder, your power wire may have 1 or 2 wires coming out of your plug. Now that you've picked out your grommets that fit around your transducer wire and your power wire, we're gonna go ahead and remove the gasket off the bottom of your through-hole fitting. Go ahead and push that guy over the top of your power wire and transducer wire. And then we will push out 2 of the blank fittings from your through-hole fitting. Once you've done that, we will take our grommets that are fit around our transducer wire and power wire and push our through-hole fitting over the top of those. Once you have those in, we can go ahead and reinstall our through-hole fitting. Okay guys, so go ahead and find the fuse holder that you got with your fish finder and the power wire that comes from our through-hole fitting that we just installed for our fish finder head unit. Now you may have to strip back some of the wires sheathing or insulation to make them fit in the waterproof connectors that you got with your install kit. Now that we have all of our wiring connected, what we're gonna do is grab that fuse holder and make sure you insert your fuse into that holder. And now we can take our battery and mount our battery into our holder. And then plug your power wire into your battery and you're good to go. So next step, we're going to take our 1.5" screwball and our Lowrance mounting arm so we can go ahead and mount our fish finder head unit. Your screwball will slide into and tighten down into your gear track. then take your Lowrance mounting base. This will plug into the back of your head unit. Go ahead and loosen that up, and that will mount to the ram ball we just slid into our gear track. Now once we have that done, we can go ahead and take our plugs that we have coming out of our through hole fitting and plug those into the back of the Fishfinder. Once you have those plugged in, we're ready to turn the Fishfinder on. So now that we have our head unit mounted, we can go ahead and clean up our wiring on the inside of the kayak and behind the head unit. What you can do is move the head unit down and very easily push those wires back down through your through hole fitting. Being careful not to push your grommets back into the kayak. Once you have those cleaned up, you can take a zip tie and zip tie those wires together. And then the transducer wire from inside the kayak, you have a lot of access. So what you can do is roll that guy up and zip tie that also. And you're done. Thanks for watching, guys. That was the walkthrough for the installation of a Lowrance Fishfinder unit. Ben, your boat's ready to catch some fish.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. I've done a lot of Fishfinder installs. None of them go this clean. I've done a lot of duck seal, PVC tubing, shoe goo with transducers, all kinds of stuff. It's definitely worth it to get this Hobie Fishfinder installation kit. The Lowrance Ready plate on the bottom of these Outbacks and the other lines of Hobies really makes install simple, and it's a bulletproof unit. Highly recommend it. So let's go test it out.
Thanks, guys.